Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss. And guys, I missed you. I was down in Mobile. And
Fred
I missed you guys.
He missed you last week.
I know Fred says
he
that.
had the time of his life.
I'm sure he said that.
Lying,
but you know, like me and Fred are boys. Yeah. And I know even though it's like one of those people who like throws all that hate, but you're like, I know you really want to give me a hug.
Hey, listen. You know, they sent you down there to get intel on the young guys, knowing I was the better scout.
I thought he was a little salty about that.
But they did send you down there, so I thought I'd stab you in the back just a little bit to let you know what was real and let you know how I really felt that they ain't send Fred Mache down.
Yeah, so obviously they sent the B team down there because I went down there. But we did have a whole bunch of podcasts recapping every single day. So if you're listening to this and you're interested about the Senior Bowl, make sure you go check that out. Also, I was talking to producer Jason, who was down there in the weeds with me.
Oh, man.
In the sticks, doing the eval. And he said, could you imagine Fred down here? Like, what does Fred do in Mobile, Alabama?
I'd have been to Mobile. I played in the Senior Bowl.
I know. So
I've been to Mobile personally.
So talk to me about it. Like, when you go to Mobile, are you like
we looked at a picture of Mobile because we did something here.
It was
and it looked like everybody flushed their commode at the same time in the city. It just ran out into the bay and into the water right there. But Mobile, it's nothing really to do in Mobile. It's some good places to eat.
Yeah, they got good food there.
I would have been so infatuated with the players because players usually come in that game and leave better players.
It is true.
You know, because it's easy to go against players you've been going against 4 years in a row, but to go against the other top players that's coming out in your draft, I think that's where you feel you get that measuring stick of what I need to do before the draft and what I need to do to make an NFL team.
It is great going down there, man. They do such a good job. That event's really nice. But we will do a recap of that event next week, so make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe to this podcast network, right, Jason? That's what we're calling it. Podcast Network, Commanders Podcast Network, and you will make sure we get that
moving on
to you. Yeah, making it happen. Making it happen. Ticket to the draft, baby. Here it is. All right. Just a reminder, we're brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every sport should be epic. Right now, new customers can choose between two offers when they open an account at Bet365. Use the QR code to sign up, deposit 10, and choose between either. First bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $1,000. If your qualifying bet loses, you receive a match refund in bonus bets. Or bet and get offer and place a bet of 5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365, official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders. And Fred's got a car tire issue.
He's dealing with some
troubleshooting right now.
I'm going to do it like Fred do. A disclaimer.
Yeah, there you go.
Must be 21 plus and physically located in Virginia. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambler. So, yeah, Fred, what happened to your car?
I was just driving here today, and I stopped at the light, and, you know, your tire usually got like, 38, 40 PSI.
The fact that there's even a number you have any context on is incredible. I have to read the tire.
Everything.
I have to read the tire every time.
But that's where it usually be at. So I'm like, all right, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
You know, it might be taking some of my air out of here. And as I kept riding down the street, it just kept going. five more. Before I knew it, I had hit the third light. I was at 6 PSI. So then I understand in my head now, you got to make a decision. Can you make it to the store, or do you need to pull in the closest parking lot? Luckily, it's Ashburn, and it's a
parking lot everywhere.
It's a golf. It's golfing everywhere.
Don't tell people where your car is.
Yeah, so I just pulled in this golf parking lot, parked right there, called me an Uber. See, that's the great thing about technology.
Oh, it's great.
Because I remember we had to try to wave a cab and all that. No. Called the Uber, got here on time for the podcast. Now the problem shooting start after I leave here because of the type of car it is and type of tire. It ain't gonna be easy for me to hunt it down.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get a fancy car, Fred.
Hey,
you know what? Do you have rims on that car?
No, that's factory.
I was going to say, because I used to hate when I had rims.
Oh, it's the worst.
And you had to pull over to the side of the road, and you like, man, I got to leave this here or call a tow truck. So I'm glad you don't have rims.
People with the rims, their tires pop all the time, right?
Yeah,
because they're low profile.
Thin, and they probably got them on a big pickup truck. And the rim is so heavy that every time you hit a pothole, it's bending.
It punctures
So I stopped it. That's something we learned. We'll probably still ride rims to like the 6, 7, 8 year in the league. Then it's like no more. Like I done had enough.
You just grew out of it.
You just through with it as a grown man.
Like you might have a car that you come out with, like an old school or something.
Yeah,
but you still have rims on because you're not riding that every day. But your everyday vehicle, please, I promise you, don't put rims on it, because if you do, Trust me, you're going to be on the side of the road.
Yeah, you're going to be on the road.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting rims on the minivan recently.
Well, you should.
I think this conversation
20s on the front, 22s on the back, offset that thing. Why not? Hey, every time I see you pull up, I'm like, this greatness personified right there.
Staggering in the back, huh? Pitbull look.
Stab.
All right, well, we got some allegedly, guys, we have some really exciting news. Reports are that we have a new head coach. Reports are by, Adam Schefter, John Keim, Nikki Javala. They've all reported that our new head coach is going to be Dan Quinn. So I thought we would just talk about, the hypothetical possibility that Dan Quinn is our head coach and how excited we are about that.
You remember we had this talk last year about one Eric Bieniemy, and you swore he wasn't coming here, and then
I did swear that.
Yeah, and then this year we had a conversation, and you was all, Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson. I was like, no, it's just not going to happen. And yet again, I brought up
Have we talked about that?
Yes, we did. I brought up Dan Quinn because I said, how could we possibly keep some of the coaches we have? And I said, I think if we get Dan Quinn, maybe we have that option to do that.
Yeah.
You don't remember me saying that? Yeah. So yet again,
I think
you was wrong. I was right.
But I mean, I'm a Dan Quinn guy through and through.
Didn't you play for him?
I play. Dan is my guy.
Yeah, I'm finna say, didn't you play? Like, he's the only guy I heard you even talk to with glowing like you do when you talk Shanahan.
Yeah.
Like that, both of y'all face just light up. Oh my God, yes, genius. But then when I hear you talk about Dan Quinn, you get excited about him.
Dude, Dan, I mean, this is the thing about Dan, and we got a quote from Micah Parsons that we're going to read in a minute, but like, I'll give you my take. Dan is like one of the best human beings I've ever had the privilege of working for.
And that says a lot in this league.
Yeah. And the fact he cares about you as a person, he cares about you as a player, he's trying to motivate you to get better. It was when I was in Atlanta, it was so fun to come to work every day. And you know when you have fun coming to work, you're like excited to get out of the car.
Can't wait.
It's 5:30 in the morning, you're like, man,
I'm ready.
We're getting after it today.
Yeah.
And he just found a way to make it fun and held people accountable. Great leader, great culture, and I'm just so excited for the guys here to have that opportunity to experience that, because everyone should have the opportunity to play for a guy like that. And Tana, like, you've played with some significant culture building coaches. Like, talk about that cultural element and like why that's so important.
It's one of the things that I think is needed. And I think you watch some of the different, I guess you can say, teams in this league that are able to be successful, and not just once. They're consistent with it. It's about having that foundation, having that culture built in place. And what you just spoke on is something that I think I've tasted a couple of times throughout my 14 years, coming excited to come to work. My first year here with Coach Gibbs, I was excited to come to work. I knew every day it was going to be something fun that we put in a package, and just things that I was, learning. And even in New York, I just shared this the other day. I told you I had a little appearance to do, and we talked to this company about basically, building, a foundation. Talked about, how to, navigate through the workplace, when it comes to leadership, you name it, all the things that people need to talk about, when you played in the professional sport that I have for so long. They ask you these questions because it coincides with certain things that people
Teamwork
do.
make the dream work.
Bingo. So I share with them, I say, what's crazy? When I was in New York, as much as I wasn't happy as an individual player, we had a foundation as a team. And I never was mad to go in there to work. I always had fun at work, but I just was unhappy with what I really wanted. Being young, had an injury. So I look back at that and I'm like, then I came here and I was ecstatic. Now, it was years when we had that fun, but we really never was built from the ground up. So it wasn't something that consistently happened. It was like you have a spurt, and a couple of years off, and you have a spurt. You know what I mean? So I think that's so important, and I'm happy that if we do get lucky and get a guy like that can bring that in here, man. I see big things.
Yeah, have you ever had experience like that, Fred?
With
Gibbs. Gibbs is the guy.
My first year, I was like that. And I think the rookies and the younger players were more infatuated with Coach Schottenheimer than the older players. And Coach Quinn gives me a lot of Schottenheimer. Defensive side of the ball. Love to deal with the defensive backs. A football mind, a football brain. So I think I had that from day one. But, of course, it didn't. He didn't come back the next year. He went to San Diego and they won 13 games. Yeah. But he was starting to build a culture here, and culture and identity. I think it all coincides the same.
Yeah.
And that's what he was giving us. And then I got the privilege to play for Coach Gibbs. And that's when I think things went to a whole nother level, because not only did I get Coach Gibbs, somebody that loved football and is a football father, I got Greg Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm learning a whole nother defense. I'm being challenged a whole different way, and he's putting me in position to make plays. If I'm a defensive back on this team, and I woke up the other day and they said, all right, this might be y'all coach, Dan Quinn, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
I have watched him with Trayvon Diggs. I think he had 10 picks.
Yeah.
Then he put another guy, younger, in his same spot.
Right.
He breaks the NFL record. That tells me these interceptions are planned, plotted, and executed.
Yeah.
All right, so at the end of the day, he can make anybody a star when it comes to the defensive back position.
Yeah, and I think, just when you watch his defense, and like we'll talk about more, because being the defensive coordinator is different than being the head coach. But I look at his tenure in Dallas. When he gets to Dallas, I think they were the 30th ranked.
They were the worst defense in football. They were the 32nd defense.
So they were bad.
And
then in one season, he totally flipped them.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a cultural transition, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a cultural transition that kind of improves that group. And then schematically, I think the evolution that he showed, because we talked about this, like some people are like, oh, we need an offensive coach, right? We need an offensive mind, right? That's where the innovation's happening. Defensive coaches are innovative too.
Yeah.
And I look at his growth since he left Atlanta and how that defense has changed, Fred. More Tana, more cover 2, more Tampa 2, better disguises in the back end, sprinkling a little bit more match, a little bit more man. They kind of roll some of that 6 in there. Like, that's a big departure from when he was in Seattle and was only cover 3, right?
Yeah.
Cover 3 with a little bit of blitzing. So I look at that and I say to myself, like, that to me is a smart guy.
Yeah, that's growth too.
In innovating football, understanding where football is going.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like about him too is just he's a guy that is always in a growth mindset. And I'm sure you've dealt with people like that over your career where like he's like, I need to this is something I messed up on and this is how I'm going to improve it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, it's just so lazy of people. And I'm got to the point I don't even want to turn my radio on when I'm headed, because I love to listen to my sports talk. And all I'm hearing is nagging about not getting an offensive coach. Everybody want trends. Everybody is hot on trends and are lazy.
Yeah.
When I say lazy, everybody will not be Shanahan.
Yeah.
Everybody will not be McVay. I'm sorry, dude. Just because they have the similar makeup of these guys, Jim King, they might come off a similar tree to these guys. Everybody is not a leader of men.
Yeah.
We've had that problem. And if I'm looking at the totality of what we got going on, new front office, new young ownership. We finna have 40% of the roster finna be young, new players. Somebody gotta have some football age on them.
Yeah,
Somebody gotta been there, done that, been to war. Somebody has to have some grit to them to say, you know what, hey, I seen this situation before. This is how we get out of this situation.
Right.
I thought we had to bring somebody in here that been to battle before.
Yeah. Well, not only that, too, when you look at it from the standpoint of just like you just spoke on, you have a GM who's they see this new firm. You don't necessarily want that coach where to see this new firm too.
Yeah.
You got 2 guys being rookies at their
Trying to find their way.
Their job. You want to have one that's a little long in the tooth that can, they can kind of help each other out. But I think also when you have the guy in place that you say who's going to be picking your groceries, who's calling the shots basically for the team, hey, go with, if that's your guy, then go with what that guy say he wants here, to lead this team. So, I mean, hey, man, like I said, I can't wait till we find out. But at the same time, if it's who we think it is, man, look here, the sky's the limit. Because I've seen this guy turn a defense to be one of the better defenses in this division, who we played with when we wanted to. I mean, you know what we did to the Cowboys for so many years. They offense was always great. They sucked at defense. And the last few years that I've been watching this defense, they have dominated the NFC East.
And I think that's a great point, because everyone's going to point to that in his time in Atlanta and be like, oh, they weren't very good the second half of his tenure there. And he had taken on more personnel responsibility, right? He had kind of taken on this model of being
whatever I need to
be, like GM and head coach, right?
Yeah,
and again,
hard.
they had a GM there, but he did some more stuff there. And I think like that's the beauty of this situation for him. Is he's got Adam Peters here to handle that for him, so he can focus on what his superpower is, which is building culture, motivating players, and maximizing talent.
Bingo.
And so I think, and again, he's a great communicator. He's a great communicator with the GM.
This counts a lot. And let's look at the totality of this. The Cowboys this year, best team in the division. We can argue Philadelphia, but the Cowboys best team in the division.
Bingo.
We just crippled them. We just took their defensive coordinator, and guess what? They coming out with they got a year where they head coach got 1 year on his contract. Great defensive coordinators are not clamoring trying to get to Dallas for 1 year to be a part of that. All right, so not only have you taken one of their best brainchilds, you taking the information hub because he knows every weakness of every Dallas Cowboy. He's been in his division playing against Philadelphia. He knows how to stop them. He knows how to stop New York. This guy, the DNA is perfect for what we asking him to do. So that's why I say I don't think people understand when you subtract people from it. Look at what happened for Philly.
Yeah,
they lost their offense coordinator. They lost their defense coordinator. They look like a shell of themselves. That's how important coaching is. You cannot tell me that Dallas ain't gonna take a step back on defense next year. That helps us.
Yeah, and in addition to him coming, right? The defensive pass game coordinator is rumored to be coming here and maybe be the defensive signal caller for the Commanders, right? Aaron Glenn is potentially going to come over. So obviously there's a lot of moving parts here in terms of pulling that apart. And I think it's really interesting, kind of a fun note, is Ron is interviewing there now. You know what I mean? So it's so funny how it switches pieces up.
Another man lost is another man's game.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there.
One team's trash is another team's treasure.
That's right, exactly. So, I mean, I think like the dynamic here is really interesting too, right? Like, the GM coach model is important. And the other thing I want to point out too is like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, like what are we going to do about the offensive coordinator? Like what's happening with that? He hired Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta.
He can identify a guy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he's got that ability to do that.
Look, man, I'm just in the same kind of space that, Smoot just spoke on. And this just happens every day. I mean, we all look at social media. Everybody just jump on the first topic and then they're gonna ride it. They might not know nothing about what's going on. They're just gonna ride it. So at the end of the day, you have to let these teams do what they do. These guys are in these positions for a reason. Yeah. You got the head coaches, you have GMs, you have guys, you have assistant coaches. They all been around long enough. Let this team do what they do. But we're so, like you say, we're in that microwave society where everybody wants something right now. It doesn't happen that way. And you know what? To be honest with you, regardless of what it all boils down to me, whether this fan base is happy or not at the end of it, I'm kind of happy. Yeah. Because I feel like every year for the last few years, we've been ecstatic about everything that's been going on here, and it getting us nowhere. So if you're mad, then maybe we go out there and win some games this time around, because you're not happy about it. So, calm down, let things pan out, and then we can, talk about it later.
And he has more VA connections than people even understand. He coached at William and Mary. He coached and played there with Mike Tomlin. Yeah. Then VMI, they coached together. So he knows the Virginia area. He's been around here, and he knows the NFC East. Yeah. People got to give him. And then this is what I hate. People like, he a retread. Every job got retread. Every job got somebody that tried to lead, couldn't do it, came back. The best two coaches right now all time, Belichick retread.
That is true.
Did not do well at Cleveland. New England was his spot. All right. Andy Reid. The best coach in football right now is a retread. Yeah. Did not win the Super Bowl in Philly. Won it in Kansas City. At the end of the day, however you want to consume this, all right, whatever label you want to put on him, it's probably not true. Yeah. All right? And I can promise you this. He going to be a better coach this go around. He gonna go back and check. Cross them T's and dot them I's and do whatever he didn't do. Like this is what I'm guaranteed he gonna do because I feel this. Because he's labeled as a defensive coach, I think he's gonna keep his foot on the pedal on defense. I think he still will be coaching the defense. Yeah. I think that's what he gonna bring to the table and let the offensive coordinator handle the offense.
Yeah, I think so. I totally agree with that. And he's a guy, again, like having dealt with him and knowing him fairly well, he's a guy that's always trying to, he's got that growth mindset, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to take this opportunity and learn from mistakes he made in the past and improve on that. But, Tana, you said something about fans being upset. And I think one of the reasons they feel upset is because I think they feel like we settled for this. And is this settling? And I have my thoughts on this, but I'll let you guys hit the floor on that first.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. Like, how you know if we settling? To me, we settling if everybody just jump on the bandwagon and say, well, Ben Johnson is the best. He's the best guy for this job. We don't know.
First off, Ben Johnson did not leave the Detroit Lions.
Bingo. First of all, he's scared to be great, if you ask me.
Look,
scared to greatness.
You would never know. And just like I said before, this point I'm trying to make is you want what's trending. You want this new innovative, offensive. These young guys, and you're not knowing it. You don't know for sure if it's going to work. It's a lot you have to do here. Yeah. We talked about it's a lot of pieces you have to fill.
Yeah.
So we're not sure if that's going to come in and just go take off like you're
calling is all we need.
Yeah,
we need a leader.
At the end of the day, like I say, a lot of these folks that talk and get on these shows and call in and speak their mind, that's their opinion. So you give it to them. But I just hate to see that everybody is hanging their hat on something that we don't have.
Yeah.
So why sit there and try to dwell on something that you don't got?
And they love to say this 28-7, the New England game, the Super Bowl. Well, I can say the same thing about Ben Johnson. Last time I checked the NFC Championship, he running the ball at the goal line, got to waste a timeout. All right, you got the lead, 28-7 at halftime?
People make mistakes. I don't think that, again, that doesn't detract from his greatness but it is a thing. You can nitpick everybody.
Everybody.
And I think the reason this is something I've heard in terms of talking with people that are semi-familiar with the situation, is everyone felt like it was definitively Ben Johnson. But from what I understand, it was like a little bit closer. Like with Adam Peters, it was Adam Peters, like
and only
Adam Peters. He's definitively the best candidate. Here, it was a little bit closer than people think.
They've been interviewing people since it started. The cycle started. They didn't just say, "Hey, this is our guy." The fans wanted this guy because they heard some of us on the radio, mainly you, or some other people, saying something about him. Because think about it. They don't know assistant coaches. No. They don't know offensive coordinators. They who is the fun hot guy?
Yeah.
That's all they want to hear. Yeah. Like, I hold Slowick a lot. Do y'all...
1 year. 1 year.
1 year. And do you think he ready to like lead men?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like neither one of those guys left their team. They made the decision that they were not ready to be head coaches. So I don't want a guy who's not ready. Yeah. Like, I don't want that.
I feel a little Josh McDaniels just all over the place with some of these
You know what's crazy, though, too? I mean, think about the league that we grew up in, when we first got in the league. Offensive, assistant coaches weren't heavily looked at like that. Like it was the head coach where, hey, if you were successful, that head coach led that team to, those offensive coaches didn't even get looked at half the time, or defensive coordinators. You know what I mean?
And they sure weren't turning down no job.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just funny how the tables turn, and how people just caught up in this, just because you did that offensively, you're a head coach now. You can come over here and do that. Yeah, I understand when you're getting that, but it doesn't always pan out that way.
All right, so real quick, because I think that's a good consensus. What's the next step for these guys moving forward? Do you think? I mean, obviously it's the staff, right?
Yeah,
staff and getting ready to hire
staff, and then you got so many guys you got to either go and pay to keep here or go out there and get.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's staff. Fill in your staff. And then it's players. Now it's all about players. What's young versus old.
What's great too about just having everything, kind of being, I guess you can say, new from a standpoint. Hopefully this time around, which I think this is how it's going to go because who you have at the GM, he understands the whole point about building that foundation. This new staff should be able to say, okay, once we got this staff, this is who we are. This is what we're going to do offensively and defensively. Now these are the players I'm going to get to make sure that we be able to run our ship that way. So that's what I'm hoping to see because I feel like so much. I've been on this this team for 10 years, and I just saw different offenses come in. I've had so many different coordinators, and a quarterback didn't fit the mold. You know what I mean? Like we had a guy where his whole game was about spot throwing. Yeah, Jason Campbell throwing the ball. Like he didn't fit the spot throw. He didn't fit, what the greatest show on turf, did. But we had that offense. Like it was impossible to go out there and be successful. So I'm hoping and praying that whatever we do,
we stick
staff wise, we make sure we address that first. Get those guys. So this is who we're going to be, and now go get those players.
Yep.
Yeah, and I totally agree. It's the staff, then players, and just to kind of show you, just to kind of wrap up this Dan Quinn thing. Here's the quote from Micah Parsons. Okay, he says. That's like my OG. It means a lot to me because it's not just about football, and I felt that when I played for Dan too. Right? He does a great job of finding ways for you to love the game. He doesn't treat me like a player. He treats me almost like a friend. He's always there for me when I need him, and we're not afraid to have those hard conversations, whether it's father to son or player to coach. Dan's my guy, and I think.
That says everything.
But and so that's Micah Parsons, and he's gonna have a special relationship with Micah Parsons. I was the third string blocking tight end in Atlanta, and my experience was the same.
Wow!
And so for his he is excellent at that. Just building relationships at the highest level. So man, I'm really excited. Allegedly, obviously, nothing's been confirmed by the team yet.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for Dan.
That make you see. I always say this: you got a couple of different type of coaches. You got your genius and mad scientists, let's say Shanahan type, McVay type. You got your guys with the military, I want everything done my way. And then you got the guys with the granddaddy effect.
Yeah.
That try to run through a wall for you. Yeah. All right, Coach Gibbs ain't got to ask me twice. Hey, run through that fence. How many times, Coach? Like, you ain't got to ask me that much because I trust you.
Yeah, you trust him.
Well,
you trust him.
It seems like to me with Coach Quinn, he has that effect. That guy feel like I got to walk in his office and I need to talk to him for the team.
And you didn't have to hear that from nobody. You watched that year after year, the success that they had on that defense. It showed and proved like these guys are. He's putting them in the greatest possible situation for them to be successful. Yeah. And as a player, that's going to make me have that extra time to go get paid. That's going to give me that chance to go out there and be all pro. It's going to give me that time to be a pro bowler. So that's what we want. That's what players want. Those coaches that understand the game to that point to say, guess what, I'm going to go out here and be the best I can be. This guy's going to make sure of that.
And I think you see that like in his energy when he's in the booth and he's calling the game and his passion. And guys feel that, man. They feel that energy. They feel that he's on your team, he's rooting for you, and it just elevates that talent tremendously.
And don't forget, when Micah Parsons came out, he dropped in the draft because they wanted to say he was somewhat of a tweener. He was a rush in, and they didn't know if he could stand up and play linebacker, and Quinn made it all work. It ain't no guarantee that everybody could have made that work. Sometimes people would just say, put your hand in the dirt, we're going to rush you the whole time. I think his sideline to sideline is where he really gets after people. So he made it work. Like I see a lot with Coach Quinn, I guess, through football eyes. And if I could transfer through that to the fan base, they actually listen to ex-football players talk about coaches, you can get a true insight. But once you got the whole media junkies and everybody, you know, just selling
hate,
just selling anything,
vitriol.
Yes, and it just it does it to me because in my head it was like y'all wasn't gonna be happy with nobody. It don't matter who we had, y'all was gonna find a reason to hate them. And then I'm so tired of this too. But we've been suffering the last 25 years. Cry me a river. Cry me a river.
You gonna keep suffering because all you talk about is negative stuff.
The Browns been suffering for 50 years. Hey, listen, Detroit just almost got to the Super Bowl for the first time in history. And all I get is, the last 25. And I know they talking to me because we part of that last 25. All I'm saying is this, come on, man, be a fan for real.
So, exciting opportunity, allegedly excited opportunity. Looking forward to him here. And just a reminder, we're brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every sport should be epic. That's why we offer an NFL early payout offer. Get your straight bets paid out or parlay selection marked as winner when your team goes up by 17 points, regardless of whether the opponent comes back to win the game. Our NFL early payout offer has hit over 52 times this season. Use the QR code to sign up and see for yourself why it's never ordinary at Bet365, official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders.
Disclaimer, must be 21 plus and physically located in Virginia. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and want help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Nice.
And we will help.
All right. This segment, which is our, what is this, the draft comparisons, Jason? Is that what we're doing? Draft comparisons is presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders.
Stop searching, go Northwest, check out nwfcu.org/Washington to see how easy it is to join and how Northwest can help make your money work for you. Stop by a branch or visit nwfcu.org/Washington today. So, in addition to the coach, the next big and hiring the coaching staff, the next big thing is the draft, which I'm pretty geeked about. So we all did a top 10 mock draft. And what we're going to do for this is we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up because we want you guys to stick tuned to the end, man. That's how we're doing it. We want you guys to stay tuned to the end. So the thing I love about this is this to me is a perfect representation of how the draft actually is. And what I mean by that is we all have different evaluation techniques. We all value different things, and our results are a little bit different. So I'm really excited to take a look at this. So we're going to start with our 10th pick. So I'm going to start with mine. My pick is Talisi Fuaga, the offensive tackle from Ohio State. Big fella, 6'6", 335 pounds, and is about as nasty as you can get in the run game. efficient pass protector, short arms, which makes me a little bit nervous, but at the Senior Bowl, did a great job. Tana, who's your guy?
Amarius Mims.
Amarius Mims, and let me just give you
Georgia.
He's huge,
and he's the kind of like the guy from Georgia last year. What was his name that the Steelers drafted?
Broderick
Jones. He has not played a lot of football, but when he's a former 5-star recruit. When you turn on the tape, he's 6'7", he's 355.
Yeah.
He moves like a gazelle. It's just not all there yet because he hasn't played a lot of football.
I'm going to say he still needs to play some football, but I like getting a clean slate like this because that means he probably ain't got no bad habits.
Yeah. So, but I will say that's probably a little bit high because he's so green. But again, this is one of those things that NFL execs do. They say this guy is immensely talented, right? And I think
I can't pass on him.
And you can't pass on him.
And it's simple as that. Now, I had the best number 10 pick since we all went tackles on the number 10 pick.
It is crazy that we did that, isn't it?
Joe Ock. I like the name. Joe Ock.
Yeah.
Listen to me. He is Notre Dame personified. It's like one of these guys come out in the draft. It's like a Joe Ock every year in the draft. From Notre Dame, this size, I love Big Ten linemen. Like, I love linemen from Iowa. I love Michigan offensive linemen.
Notre Dame?
I love Notre Dame. Like, it's just something about them. Like, you getting quality. Like, it's almost to a point where you're getting a plug-and-play player for 13 years.
So, let me ask you, if you had to comp him to somebody.
Right now?
Who's your comp, yeah? Because I have a comp for him, and I like my comp a lot, but I don't think a lot of fans like the comp. So here, let me hear
my comp for him would be, right now.
Yes.
A slower Laramie Tunsil almost.
Ooh, that's an excellent comp for him. I said, so to me, he reminds me a lot of how Jake Matthews plays. The tackle down
in Atlanta.
In Atlanta. And he's a little bit bigger, obviously.
Yeah.
He's 6'8". I think Jake's like 6'5".
So is Jake, what you call him, brother?
Matthews. Clay Matthews. Their nephew.
Oh, okay.
No, I think they're brothers. So anyway, there's like the uncles in there too.
About,
so there's
about
Clay Matthews. It's like 65 Matthews.
That's
know how it goes.
But again, I like Alt a lot. I think he's very solid.
I think he don't have a weakness.
Yeah. He's got a very high floor, very technically sound, and only been playing tackle for a couple years. Came into Notre Dame as a tight end.
Yeah, and that's why I love him.
I'm a little surprised, Fred, that he's not your first tackle. We'll talk about the other guy in a second here, but I think it's interesting that all of us have a tackle going to the Jets.
Yeah.
They need offensive line help. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
right?
and to protect Rodgers for this last 2 years of his career to try to go get that ring, you got to go get an offensive lineman.
All right,
Jets.
So the next one is who we got?
Pick 9.
Pick 9. Tana, who you got?
Oh, Dallas Turner.
Dude.
DN, Alabama.
Like this pick.
Putting him with Sweat?
I like it. He's got a lot of juice, man. A lot of juice. It reminds me like he's not this polished.
He ain't Will Anderson.
He's a little bit more Von Miller than Will Anderson. Like he's super bendy, and he was so athletic. I always wanted him to be more productive when I was watching his tape. But high ceiling guy, very very talented.
Just fit the Chicago kind of mold they like to do on defense too.
Yeah.
And then you come from Alabama, you can't miss when you got an Alabama. Anytime you see Alabama kids in the first round, but have potential to go in those top picks, them the guys you want to get, especially if you have a need for them.
And is he? And I hate to spoil Tana's mock, but I think he's the highest defensive player on Tana's board. And I think what you'll see here is that defense not a big priority in this draft.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many offensive players and there's so many offensive needy teams picking in the top 10. So that's why I went, because my 10 through like 20 is mostly defensive players. So I just think because of the teams picking, most of us went offense because we know some of these receivers, them 3 receivers will be taken in the top 10.
You also got to understand too, this is Chicago, who we talking about at 9.
Yeah.
If they don't miss or trade this pick, they have 2 picks in the first round.
In the top 10.
Yeah. They have potentially they have the first pick.
Yeah.
And then you have that pick. So if they don't trade out and they keep their picks, I'm predicting something offensively, first pick. But I look at that as saying let's cater to another need. And defensively, we talked about them all last year. That's one of the reasons why they went out to Sweat. They need to fill those, those voids in that defense.
Definitely a super talented guy. Again, I think he's a little bit developmental. His production's good football player. Yeah. Just
But playing on the opposite side of a guy like Sweat, who gonna draw the attention, allows him to really start fast.
Fred, who's your guy?
Rome. Am I saying his last name?
Adunze.
Adunze. I thought I was saying that. Rome Adunze. Listen. Now, I know everybody's in love with Marvin Harrison, but I'm telling you right now, if I had to grade these two players, Rome is not too far behind him.
But he's number 9 for you.
No, because of who picking at number 9. This ain't no talent. This is team equal need plus talent. All right, so I'm saying with that second Chicago Bears pick, DJ got off this year and made plays. Putting a big, strong receiver, and this guy, he reminds me of Jamar Chase. If you look at his film and what he's been doing for the last 2-3 years, he reminds me of Jamar Chase. His ceiling is high. He don't make it past pick 9.
And you made the
he got off this year.
You made the Jamar Chase comp. He's bigger than that.
He's bigger than that. But I'm saying how they run routes, the balance, the way they go get deep balls.
I think that's fair.
Strong hands.
Strong hands.
He had
contested catches.
He had the highest contested catch rate of any player in this last year's of any player that's draftable this year.
That's a great
64%, 50-50 ball. Like that's his percentage.
64.
To give you a comparison, Marvin Harrison Jr. was number 2. At 45%.
Thank you.
Wow.
So dude is an absolute dog when the ball's in there.
Like I don't think I ever seen him drop a ball.
And so he's that guy. And like when they need him, when UW needs him, he's the guy. So for me, I love him, obviously. And I just think he's too good for, and so just to spoil my number 4 here, I have him going number 5, excuse me, to the LA Chargers. And everyone says LA Chargers drafted a receiver last year. I'm just like, he's the second best, maybe best player.
Hey, you so wrong.
Non-quarterback, but get what I'm saying. Like I don't, and this is the other reason I'm going to say this to you, right? I think the receivers are going to bump up this year because of the contract value of receivers. So like
it's spiking.
It's spiking.
Get them young like a quarterback.
So now you got this guy locked in at like 22.5 for the next 5 years. And think about how much money you're saving per year. Like what was the last big receiver contract? Let's just take AJ Brown. Like 100, I think it was $105 million.
I thought he was 8 and 8.
Whatever it was more. More was the big one too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you're talking 30 a year.
100 million.
And now you've got a guy for 5 years at 22. You know what I'm saying? So like I just think those guys, because of the contract value, are going to get pushed way up.
That's thinking a little deeper than what we would.
I was thinking even deeper because now it's about the coach, Harbaugh, and you know how I feel about him. And I know what he wants to do. He's going to say, all right, I'm going to figure out a way to re-sign Keenan. I got a young wide receiver we drafted last year. I still got Palmer as my slot wide receiver. I need a tight end because he's about physicality. He's about running the ball, play action, pressing the ball down the field. Brock Bowers is a gift from heaven to this man. Like, listen, what does a tight end do for a quarterback like LA guy?
Safety net. Safety net.
He's the ultimate 80 catch dude.
He's the Kelsey to,
Thank you.
Mahomes.
And he's a mismatch problem. Like, he's going to be too big for safeties and too fast for linebackers.
And again, the thing where I wonder is he's fantastic. And I have him, it's close. I think I like him a little bit more than I like Kyle Pitts coming out. Like he's George Kittle to me. He's physical. He's physical after the catch. He's physical blocking in line. Again, the receiver value to me, it's a money thing. It's a dollars and cents thing. So I'm going to take a receiver at higher because I want to lock that in. But he's my 9th pick. He's my 9th pick because I think he's just too good.
Going to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, he's too good not to take. So that's how I feel about Brock. I mean, I love him. But again, that tight end value. Because think about a tight end, man. Travis Kelce's making 14.5 this year. And Brock Bowers, drafting him in the first round high, he's making 14.5 this year.
Like also, I think this is deeper than money. I think this is about. We talked about getting your vision to your team. I think for what the Chargers need, he fits their vision.
All right, so let's go. So that's 10.
That's 9.
9. Okay, let's go. Tana, who you got? 8 o'clock.
Fred spoke about him, and I got him for the ATL Shouties. Joe Alt.
So Joe Alt, I messed this up, and this is bad hosting of the show because we were supposed to talk about Joe in all of our drafts, but we just talked about him in yours. So he's 8. Why is he 8 for you, Tana, to the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, I think the Falcons have a need. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a lot of needs too. They might need some little defense. They're not sure with their quarterback, but I think too the offensive line would be a great spot for them to fill too because
that would be crazy.
I think they have a quarterback or two that they can have success with.
Yeah.
And I'm not against who they had last year. I think he's a great pickup. Still a young quarterback. What his name is again? Ritter.
Ritter. I think they gave up on him.
I think they have, but new coaching staff come in. Never know. You might shine a light on him saying, hey, he can do some things. I've seen some things that he can do. If we get the right people around him and, take a little off his plate, maybe he can be successful. So that's why I got out there. I think he can be a great field for that offensive line and help those guys.
Yeah, that would be crazy if Atlanta took him, because think about it. They have a first-round pick in Caleb McGarry. They have a first-round pick in Chris Lindstrom. Yeah. They have a second-round pick in the guy from Syracuse last year. I can't remember.
And then they still got Matt
Bergeron, and then they got Jake Matthews, a first-round pick. So if they took him,
5.
That's 5 first-round picks. So you could put Caleb McGarry at guard.
Yes.
Have Joe Alt attack. You'd have literally 5 first-round picks on the offensive line.
Yeah. I saw us doing on the D-line. Yeah. I'm not saying it led to success, but hey, man, I've seen weirder things happen.
So I'm shocked we agreed on our pick. That's the only pick I think we agreed on. Was
this one.
Their pick.
So just to piggyback on Tana's, I have Joe Alt at 7 going to Tennessee Titans. I just think Tennessee Titans have such a glaring need on the offensive line. Like, they were the worst offensive line in football last year.
Yeah.
I don't think any good offensive linemen,
they can't pass.
They're not going to pass.
They can't pass.
So I think that's going to be the guy. For me, in terms of picking 8, is Latu from UCLA. Yeah. And we got to see him down at the Senior Bowl, Jason and I.
But the one thing that he balls out. He remind me of Phillips from Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. But the injuries, he hurt his neck in college. He sat out a year, and then he came back and really balled out. So really, his medical gonna be the reason he either go up or he go down. But by production,
he's awesome.
I think the Falcons need a pass rush, especially with Raheem Morris there. He gonna look at that defense and say, I got corners, got a couple backers. I need a pass rush right now, because Grady Jarrett can't do it forever, man. Yeah. I'm sorry. So you got to get a defensive lineman.
And again, I agree with Fred. His medical is going to be, because he medically retired, the whole thing. At the Senior Bowl, man, this dude has no bones in his body. Like, guys will punch him. He just can duck and bend and move, and his second reaction. He is one of the most, he is the most refined college pass rusher I have ever evaluated. Wow. Like, just think about that. He's got any move you want him to run, he's got it in the bag. The problem is he's not going to test super well in his medical history. So to me, he's the most productive, most kind of safest college prospect in terms of play.
But so scary.
And so I don't think he'll actually go this high. I have him going 8 to the Falcons. Yeah. I think that's where I would think like Dallas Turner, because his medical is going to be better. Yeah. He's going to test just a little bit better. Might bump up there. But again, I think Latu is an excellent football player, and one, again, we don't agree on a lot, Fred. Yeah. But we definitely agree on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go 7, Tanner. Who you got?
Man, I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name. Olumu.
Fashanu. We'll just call him Olu Fashanu from Penn State.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle, left tackle at Penn State. Big old hoss, 6'6", 320.
Yes, sir. DC native.
Talked about Tennessee.
Is he really?
He played with Caleb. Yeah. They was on the same high school team.
Right. That is insane.
You're absolutely right.
That is
they
crazy.
They had 2 top 10 picks on the same team.
Could you imagine coming out of math class, like, I just took my math test, man. I've got my Letterman jacket on. I'm playing DN. I go out there and just see this 6'6", 300-pound monster
with Caleb laughing behind him, like, we can't wait to see you run his RPO on you, brother. How you feel about that? Yes, they played together in high school.
That's crazy. Yeah. What you got, Tanner?
No, I was just saying Tennessee, having the quarterback. I think they have their quarterbacks solved. I mean, I love what I saw in the young
Will
guy.
Levis, and I didn't give him no love coming out last year. Logan felt better about Will Levis than I did. I got to get a guy that put mayonnaise in his coffee, some props, because he came in and he showed me something.
It's still early though. I mean,
but he showed me he wasn't afraid.
Dude, he probably should be a little bit more afraid. Did you watch him play a game, man?
Listen, he don't slide.
He's tough as all out.
He don't slide. And see, I usually don't like quarterback that's built like Thor.
We was talking about Josh, what you call the dude, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And we want to talk a lot about him when it comes to get your behind down. Yeah. But that's why I say, have a good tackle for him. And, like I said, I always say, this is my disclaimer. I ain't the guru sitting up here. These guys are the gurus when it comes to the draft. But I was just looking at spots for need, and I think, it wasn't, that wouldn't be that wouldn't be a bad pick for Tennessee Titans.
I agree. I think it's just about the guy you want there.
I would say all 3 are sent the offensive linemen their way. Yes. So we know what they're going to do. We sent a Finu Y'all. You said
Fashanu.
Joe.
I said Alt. And again, I'm a little down. I think the league is a little down on Fashanu. Like if you watch, what game was it? The Michigan or the Ohio State game. They've got two big draftable defensive ends. They'll probably go in the second.
JT.
Yeah, it's Tyler. Good luck with that name. Gotta give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Tyler Minu or something like that?
I don't know. I'm not gonna even try it.
All right.
He's big old Hasso, number 44 for them.
Yeah.
He's 270, 6'5", and he put some work on that man.
Yeah.
And so the thing about Fashanu, again, tremendous athlete. It reminds me a little bit of like.
I think he's gonna test well.
I think he's gonna test great. He reminds me of the guy in Dallas right now, the left tackle in Dallas, Tyron Smith, like a little bit undersized, like skinny. Like he's not skinny, he's 320, but like
not a lot of body fat.
Right, and he moves really well. To me, the thing I worry about with him, and the reason I have Fuaga ahead of him in terms of like my second tackle, is because Fuaga, there's no doubt in my mind he is strong enough and physical enough to play in the NFL.
Gotcha.
I think with Fashanu, again, the athlete is 100% there. Athlete, 100%. It's just, are you physical enough on a down-to-down basis to get it done?
I'm high on Guyton from Oklahoma. I'm very high on him. He used to be a tailback in college. He's a tackle. I think he might run a 4.7 at the combine. Dude, he's that type of athlete.
And he had a great Senior Bowl, and he's going to be very productive. All right, Tan, let's get to 6 for you.
I got Brock Bowers going to the New York Giants. Now,
please,
me and Fred talked about this a couple of days ago, and Giants might need some outside guys, but I think too also not sure what they're gonna have to do with their quarterback situation because they paid him last year.
Daniel Jones,
he can possibly want to be back and be their guy, but they have to me they went out in free agency last year and got a tight end. But I just don't think he fits the mold of what they want to do. He retired and
didn't tell nobody.
I can see Brock Bowers fitting the mold of what the G-men like to do with that offense. I think he's a tough, gritty type of, pass catcher and
better have a plan for him.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I just see him. He fits that shocky mold, just tough as nails, that can make every kind of play. He look like he'd be a G-man, type of tight end.
Yep. Totally agree.
All right, I'm sending Malik Neighbors there. And when you're talking about these wide receivers, this guy got a little Joey Galloway in him.
Yeah.
I'm talking about young prime Joey Galloway in him. The way he runs route, and I just think they need something outside. Like if you're going to give Daniel Jones, he already got a regular name. You got to give him some fire on the outside to give him a chance to beat some people. But they did take Jalen Hyatt last year, so they might play into what Tanner talking about and them taking the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, I have Malik Neighbors going here also. I think he's one of my favorite players to watch in the draft. Just crazy explosive, dynamic athlete. He reminds me a lot of like OBJ. Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Chase a little bit too. Like he's that playmaking receiver that I think is just going to be, again, too valuable to pass up given the contract value. Tana, who you got at 5?
I got Neighbors.
There you go. That's right. Yeah,
I like him going to the Chargers. I think you got Harbaugh coming in there. You got the quarterback already. Yeah, they went out there in the draft and got a guy from, I think that was TCU last year.
Quinn.
He's a little rough and still. But if you go get another guy, because I do believe they're going to end up losing the DC native. They're going to have to pay him.
Mike Williams.
Not Mike Williams. What is what the guy named?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen.
So, he's from DC too?
He's from this area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from this area.
Shock me.
He's one of the smoothest route runners in this league. Still playing at a high level, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to keep him on. So you go and get a guy who's going to, I think, bring a little more spark to your offense on the outside, and I think Neighbors bring that to them.
I'm going Brock Bowers, baby.
Yeah,
I just don't think he get past 5. Not with Jim Harbaugh. Not with the knees. I think they have. I think they go because they got to try to sign a running back. And then here go the thing that's really fascinating about the LA Chargers. They are already $30 million over the cap.
Yeah, they need.
So they got to repair their cap before they even worry about who they taking at 5.
And so to me, that's why you would take a receiver. Again, I like Brock Bowers. I like Malik Neighbors. I think this is where you kind of just go like, what is your flavor?
Yeah.
And I just think as of right now, and I still got to watch more film, obviously, but I got to, right now, Roma Dunze is my second receiver. I think he's the second best offensive non-quarterback player in the draft.
That's what's going to be his nickname, Doomsday.
Did you steal that from Jason?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't talk to Jason.
Oh, okay.
Jason was in Alabama with you.
That is true.
I did not talk to him.
That is true. All right, now we're getting a little bit spicy here. Tana, you've got, so I think we all agree this is a heavy receiver, heavy offensive line in the top half of the draft here. Tana, who you got at 4?
I got Rome. Talk about
Roma
receiving.
Dunze again.
I got Rome going to Arizona.
Yeah, that's the highest. That's the highest anybody's got him going.
Yeah, and you talked about somebody who can be a game changer, difference maker. Do Arizona offense need one of those kind of guys on the outside?
They need help, bro.
Yeah,
It might need help in that, in the backfield at the quarterback, position as well. But I think if you're going to keep him around, you paid him a lot of money. I don't see him going nowhere. So he needs more talent. He needs more guys that he can just do less with. Because I watched that situation over there in Arizona, and I'm just. When I watch him playing quarterback, I sit there sometimes like, man, throw the ball. Because I hate seeing him running around the backyard like he running around the backyard, playing sandlot or something. Just throw the ball. So I think you find a guy that he can throw the ball to a lot, and Rome fits that mold.
All right, so with that player at 4, I think Tana's somewhat tipped his hand a little bit here.
Yeah, well, because the
rest of his draft, because to have that player there
at 4
means that the best receiver's already gone.
Yeah.
So now let's get in ours. Who you got at 4?
We both got Marvin Harrison,
and I think again he's the
consensus.
He's the best player in the draft.
Yeah.
But quarterbacks are going to get bumped, I think.
Yeah.
So Tana has played it a certain way.
Yeah.
We've played a certain way. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a beast.
Yeah.
He's very good.
This is what I like about him. As good as he is talent-wise, he got the same mentality as his dad.
Yeah.
He is no nonsense.
Yeah.
I've watched this dude be a superstar in college. He just walking through. I could just see him walking the campus, not paying attention. Very Santana-like in that way. So numb to the reality.
Someone spoke about, being that he was getting ready for the bowl game or something like that, and it was a bunch of fans out, and, he was he was working out somewhere. And they brought some, like, how you bring these kids to come watch,
I remember
come visit. And they said he went out his way and went out there and signed every kid, took pictures with him. And
grounded.
That's somebody who grounded. That's somebody who's sure about himself and also understand what that did for those kids. You know what I mean? And he's been in those shoes before, because having a dad, being able to follow your dad's footsteps and watch him, that's what every father wants. Their son to follow in their footsteps and be, similar to them or better. So when I look at him, you guys can't.
Your son look in the face and say, "I don't want to do what you did."
You guys are not wrong with that at 4, but that's why I think he's a guy that fits somewhere else on my sheet.
Yeah. So let me say this too. I like Marvin Harrison Jr., but I'm really close to having Malik Neighbors ahead of him and Roma Dunze. I'm really close. Like, the more I watch Malik,
I like Malik, but Brian Thomas on the other side of him.
He's good.
Brian Thomas is a beast.
He's a first-round pick too.
Listen, Brian Thomas. If I had to pick between him to put on this squad, no lie, I would pick Brian Thomas.
I would too.
Brian, if you watch that film,
probably the best deep ball receiver in the class.
I was watching it. I was trying to make myself fall in love with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Not Malik Neighbors, Jaden Daniels, my fault.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm watching him, and I'm like, you know what? This Brian Thomas
beast
reminds me of Gordon. That came from
came
played with RG3.
Baylor.
Baylor.
Yeah, Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. He got some Josh Gordon in him.
Yeah. Gritty, just talented.
Just talented.
I watched.
All right, now let's get into top 3, man. And this is a little bit spicy. Tana spiced this sucker up a little bit, so let's check this out. All right, so number 3, Tana, who you got?
Got Drake May going to New England Patriots.
Now, don't that just fit?
I got Drake May going to the Patriots also.
That doesn't shock me.
But so Drake May, really good football player, really good in 2022, a little bit of regression 2023. There's some accuracy stuff in 2023 that makes me go, ugh, right? Like, what's going on?
Most North Carolina quarterbacks' feet don't match their arm. They need to clean their feet up.
And that offense can be a tough evaluation. It's a spread offense.
Yeah.
But again, very, very talented guy.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Again, there's that Justin Herbert comp, Justin Herbert-ish element to his game.
It's a good comp, and think about where you at, New England.
Yeah.
All right, Drake May, 6'4",
Yeah.
throwing in bad weather.
Yeah.
That's the guy I think they would rather have, but I picked Jaden Daniels.
For 3.
Yes, I picked Jaden Daniels going there because of the new head coach. Him want somebody that when the play breaks down, which Drake May can do the same.
Yeah.
But I think straight line speed, Jaden Daniels
I just don't see him playing in that cold like that, though, being able to be that guy. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Great
going
pick.
from Arizona to LSU. And now,
I mean, that's when you see them do less of that when they play in that kind of weather.
Because it hurts more when you get hit. But
can't be that athlete that you want to be.
But I think this is kind of the big debate is Jaden Daniels and Drake May. And so for me, I have Jaden Daniels at 2.
Yep.
And I think Jaden Daniels is here to the Commanders again. He's the quarterback from LSU. The film in 2023 was just so much better than Drake May's. like the playmaking ability, the accuracy, the tight window throws. Someone did say this to me, Trevor Sikkema from NFL. He's the lead draft analyst for PFF. He was like, he doesn't throw over the middle as well as Drake May, which I think is I need to go back and watch that more.
They have to clean it up because they used to their receivers. Well, Jaden Daniels, look at these 3 top quarterbacks. He had the best set of receivers out of all of them. That's why Caleb had a down year, and that's why Drake May had a down year. So when you're watching the value of Jaden Daniels, how much translate to winning, considering that he had 2 guys that can win on the outside? I
mean, Joe Burrow had the same thing, though.
But I think more so than anything, what stood out, even though he was a Heisman Trophy winner, he just accuracy was a problem, and that's what makes me kind of question. That's why y'all haven't heard. Daniels in my draft at all. But like I say, I won't be surprised if he go up there, because when you get a guy that uber talented like that, they test well, they run well, especially at the quarterback position. Everything from that position is trending to be, you want more mobile guys, and if you could get a guy that's exceptionally mobile, like can go out there and change the game with his legs, like a Lamar Jackson, then I wouldn't be mad with any team that say, hey, I want to take a chance at that. But at 2 for me, that's where I got Caleb Williams coming to the Washington Commanders.
Well, we got that in common. They just didn't put mine on the sheet right, because I had mine set up to where the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders traded first and second pick. All right, so mine is also different. I got Drake May going to Chicago because I got them trading Justin Fields.
You got to trade. All right, so Caleb Williams, man.
Caleb Williams. It's a dream come true.
Dude, I think that'd be the move, man.
I look at it too when you look at it. I mean, me and Smoot kind of have mixed views when it comes to just bringing DC home guys back home, homegrown guys back home. But I think what Smoot said, that kind of made me sleep on it and think a little differently too. Yeah, quarterbacks are different. They're not the guys
it's us in this deal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So quarterbacks are different. They understand their responsibility. They understand, the load that they carry. And when you have a guy that's been kind of bounced around like he has and went to USC, where I think that is Hollywood. That's bigger than any city you can be in and be that and be the guy. He handled that well enough so he can come home and handle any pressure that's going to probably be presented to him. So that's why I think he's a fit. He fit well here, but. When you look at that and you say, well, damn, Tanner, you got him at 2. Who is your number 1 guy?
I can't wait to find out. This guy teasing it up. But Caleb Williams, the most physically gifted guy from an arm talent standpoint.
The most freakish quarterback in this
draft. The arm angles, the layering of the throws, the ability to extend plays.
He's thicker than you think he is.
I think the one criticism I would levy against him, and that I've heard levied against him from people who are very high up in terms of scouting process, like GMs for other teams, is he does nothing on schedule, which makes me a little bit nervous.
Patrick Mahomes.
But Patrick Mahomes can operate in schedule.
It took a year for them to Andy Reid clean that up. Like Andy Reid said, if he can do the hard stuff, I can teach him how to do the easy stuff. So I think that's what you get with him. When you get Caleb, you really doing some tweaking and some cleaning up.
And if that's the key, or that's the thing that he's going to need, then you definitely have to have somebody that comes in here. If he's coming here, to have that kind of be that whisperer, because you can't just put quarterbacks like that with any coach, coach, and say hey, he's going to be able to go out there and play. No, because you're going to need a guy to check him every now and then and say, hey, I need you to get 1, 2, 3 and get that ball out your hands. When you see it. But also, the question would be also to me for you to say that. Is he seeing it clear enough?
I think that's the concern people have with it, right? Because I mean, he did. So I forget what game it was, but he's rolling to his left. He's a right-handed passer. He's rolling to his left, which is so hard to throw that way. He opens his shoulders while running full speed, and I'm telling you, Tana, delivers a laser directly in line with where he's running. And I'm like, there's probably two people on the face of the planet that can make that throw. And he's one of them. And so it's there for you.
If you're Chicago, because we got to bring up playing outside, playing on Lake Michigan, playing in the elements, would you rather have a 6'1" guy, a 6'5" guy that could throw 6'4" like Drake May, that could throw through the cutting winds of Soldier Field?
I don't think the size is even a factor there for me, because I think his arm is just that much better. Like I think it's just he's just.
I'm just asking.
But I'm saying he's physically that dude. And so again, like just to flesh this out, Drake May, highest big time throw percentage over the last 2 years of any quarterback in the NFL, or any quarterback in college, excuse me. Jaden Daniels, lowest interception rate, lowest turnover worthy play rate by far for his entire career of anybody. And then just turn on the film of your guy, Caleb Williams, and you'll be like, your jaw will be on the floor.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this guy for 100 years since I've been here.
So when people say he's like the definitive number one, talent-wise, his ceiling is ridiculous high. So I have him as my best player.
Yeah.
Fred has this. So let me rephrase that. We have him as the first pick, which is different than the best player in the draft.
To me, the best, if the quarterback is the position of need.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, you do grades, right? You do draft stuff.
I do grades, but when I look at stuff, I look through it through a clear eye, and I say, you know what? He might be the highest graded running back we done had in 3 years that came out. Yeah. That don't make him better than Saquon Barkley to me. What I'm saying is, Caleb, to me, is the most talented player in the draft because I don't think a Marvin Harrison can exist without a trigger man.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I believe we all are right. We all could be right because I think he's the best player.
Who's your first guy?
He's the best player in the draft. That's why
Marvin
I have him going to us at 2. But I have Marvin Harrison going number 1 to the Chicago Bears because they're not trading a quarterback.
So far.
Yeah. I don't see it. If let's put it like this, let me reword that. If they don't trade their quarterback,
Justin Fields,
they keep Justin Fields.
You go Harrison.
You're going Marvin Harrison. You put DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison out there. Let Justin Fields cook.
And by the time the end and the last name of Harrison get out there, we got the card in. The card is in. Just drop a banner. You don't even need to walk nobody.
And just to put the icing on the cake with that, that's the reason why my top 10 was kind of shuffled a little bit because I would love to put Jalen Daniels somewhere up there, but I have him potentially fall into either 8 to Atlanta because say Atlanta might need a quarterback, or 10 to the Jets. And the reason why I say the Jets because you don't know what Rodgers. You
gotta have somebody to back him up.
Rodgers need a backup. And then Rodgers might not be able to come out there and be don't get me wrong, he's back already in practice, so I know he's gonna probably be there day 1 of camp and day 1 of all the offseason drills and stuff. But when he leaves, you want somebody already there in place.
Already there to learn under him.
And you don't want the same thing. The Jets needs I'm a Jet. They drafted me. So I'm a Jet and I'm a Commander.
Yeah, I'm still a Viking too.
They never got that caliber of quarterback to play for them. Why not now?
But that's why I feel like Atlanta gonna miss all our draft up by picking Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix and bringing him in the top 10. We seen quarterbacks do this. Quarterbacks and old tackles mess the draft up every year. And I just feel like Atlanta is going to say, new head coach, let me go get Michael Penix. And they do this every year because I feel like Bo Nix is the second coming of Zach Wilson.
No, I mean, so just for some context, I don't disagree with you, Fred. But right now, Bo Nix is...
This is...
he is up.
Well, he's going up.
He's flying up. He's flying up.
I thought I saw a little bit of this.
But he the old dude on campus. Ain't he the dude that been on campus like 3 years after he graduated, still live on campus? Like, Bo Nix been in school so long.
He the dude that say, guess what? He graduated 3 years ago, but he stayed around campus and he throwing all the house parties.
He
inviting everybody to the house.
So why would I be shocked as you as a grown man beating up on kids?
I'm not shocked.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what Bo Nix, how he's going to train. Like, if I had to pick between Bo Nix and Michael Penix right now, and I'm not a big Michael Penix guy, but that left hand, the kind of quirky delivery, his hands are huge.
Big hands, big arms too.
I would give Michael Penix a better NFL chance than Bo Nix right now.
So I think, to Tana's point, also the New York Giants, right? I don't know if they pass up on a quarterback, even though they just paid Daniels. But I think if you look at the next kind of tier of quarterback needy teams, we don't get too nerdy with this, but like New Orleans, right? You got Denver. Who does Sean Payton like?
Nobody. They say he like Caleb Williams.
But he likes Drew Brees, you know what I'm saying? He likes Drew Brees. And when you watch your guy Bo Nix, he looks a lot like Drew Brees. Like they're kind of the same height. Same deal. So.
I look like Denzel Washington. But
boy, stop.
That don't mean my talent is Denzel Washington talent. Like,
boy, you look like Nelson Mandela.
You know what I'm saying? We got looking like all right. That don't mean you the same flavor now.
All right, let's review this one more time. Man. So my draft goes Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels to Washington, Drake May, Marvis Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Latu, Brock Bowers, Lisi Fuaga. Right?
Yes.
So then, Fred, you want to read yours off?
Mine is Caleb Williams,
but
with
you
the number one pick to Washington Commanders.
You're going to trade that.
All right, Drake May to the Chicago Bears. Jaden Daniels to the New England Patriots. Marvin Harrison going at 4. Brock Bowers to the Chargers.
That's what difference in ours.
Yep. Malik Neighbors to the Giants. Fashanu to Tennessee. Lafayette to the Falcons.
Latu.
Doomsday to the Bears. And Joe
Tana. So Tana actually, like, this draft from Tana, I think seems crazy to a lot of people that are like in the draft community.
Yeah.
But like I could easily see Tana's draft happening.
Yeah. Listen, if Mayor Kiper can be right every 3 years, so can Tana.
No, but I'm thinking like, so Marvis Harrison Jr., like if they don't trade Justin Fields, that's
could easily go
100% the pick, right? And then if you say, oh, well, what about Amarius Mims at 10? Amarius Mims is one of the freakiest dudes in this draft. And you know how coaches are.
Yeah.
They're like, I can make this guy whoever I want. So don't, like, I think this is really interesting. Tana,
they have him as a 15 possible pick, top pick.
Yeah, dude,
top 15.
I'm going to tell you where Tana won up.
I can see you going up.
Yeah.
Latu pick should be Dallas Turner's with Tanner's. Like,
I think so, but I think Latu's a better player.
No, we do, but we know what's gonna hurt him.
Right? Yeah. Go ahead, Tanner.
So my pick would be if Chicago doesn't get rid of Fields, no question, you're going to get a receiver. Marvin Harrison, the best in the draft. I got him going at 1 to Chicago. I got 2, Caleb coming to us. He falls in our lap because of what Chicago does. Number 3, I got Drake May.
I gotta stop you. This is nerdy draft stuff. If Caleb's there at 2, do you trade that pick and just take a boatload of picks?
You got to get the best of
it. You got to get it. You're right. You got to get them.
You got to get them.
Sorry, that's not even. If you call my phone, what are you doing?
I'm busy right now.
We're walking to the podium.
What are you doing?
Number 3, I got Drake May going to New England. Definitely gonna need a quarterback there. Number 4, Arizona. They need help. I got Rome going Doomsday. Number 5, we talked about this guy. He's probably one of the better receivers in this draft, and he probably arguably might be number 1. You know, y'all say Malik Neighbors going to the Chargers. They need some explosive on the outside. Number 5, I got Brock Bowers going to the G-Man.
Don't hate that.
I just can't unsee it. The G-Man. He's that style of kind of tight end.
I can't unsee it.
Yeah, Fashanu, right? Fashanu?
Fashanu.
Going to Tennessee Titans, man. Definitely would be
They're going to take off his line, guaranteed.
I got, going to the Falcons. Dallas Turner.
Crazy.
I mean, Chicago. They love defensive guys. DN. They need a guy get to the quarterback with Sweat. I got him going to the Bears. Dallas Turner, and then last but not least, Mims.
Mims.
He would be going to the Jets, which the Jets, we saw that offensive line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They need help. Yeah.
They need help bad. So I couldn't unsee that one either. So, and then he's one of those guys. Like I say, I'm not a guy that can just sit there and say I watched tons of film on him. But the little bit I did, I'm like, oh, he like a top 10 kind of guy. He like a guy
physically,
he's a mountain of a man.
If he would have played a little bit more, he only played 8 games his whole college career.
Yeah, he got hurt.
If he played a little bit more, maybe feel differently about him.
Hey, them 2-second picks, I got to get guiding with one of them picks. Listen, I've been watching that Oklahoma guy. He's a monster.
He's going to make it. He's going to see.
And I want Jatavius Sanders, the tight end from Texas.
Dude, I don't know about that. We'll talk about that more.
Yep.
Next show, we got a lot of draft coverage to talk about. We have our Senior Bowl recap coming up next week, so make sure you check that out. These are the top guys. Senior Bowl is a little bit more like that.
Did you play in the Senior Bowl?
I did not. Did you?
Right.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
I had to.
I won MVP of the Senior Bowl.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I won defensive MVP. Me and Chad went at it. Chad Johnson, and the offensive MVP was LaDainian Thomas.
Yeah. Caroline, can you look that up real quick? While I do the extra.
I got the little thing at home. You know what I'm saying? If I need to bring it.
That's the thing about Fred.
I spared Fred, man. I ain't come out there.
You would have diced Fred up.
Hey, what's the name? His running mate was out there.
Reggie was out there.
How did Reggie do it?
Now Reggie stock went up at the Senior Bowl.
Reggie was balling. Chad went through the roof.
Yeah.
Because,
Chad's out there. Yeah,
at Oregon State, he balled, but he went all in the camera. But when he got to that, they got me from the South practice to practice against Chad because
they
he was killing all the
Chad, really?
Chad, they say that Chad put on a show in his practice. Yeah. And I heard this story, and he didn't tell me this. They say they went and got Fred Smoot. And that's how they became to be close too.
That's how we got
you got two.
That is a great story.
And they did it like every day.
Tag
because I had nobody. That wasn't getting challenged.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so funny. Jason and I were down at the Senior Bowl. And we were like, man, I wish they would bring Player X to the first practice so we could see him.
Oh, they didn't do that? They didn't do it?
No, they don't do that. They say
football done
I
changed,
had Pittsburgh old coach, your
Coughlin.
boy. No, Pittsburgh coach before Tomlin. Chew gum. No, that's Coughlin is New York.
Oh, my bad, not Coughlin.
Bill Coward.
Caroline.
Yes.
Woo!
Bill Coward. And Bill Coward
Caroline, you're a Pittsburgh fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And Bill Coward sparked that. He the one said, no, go get him.
Dude, I like that idea. Because
Yeah.
there was a couple guys I was like, man, I wish.
I can see them.
Yeah.
I did hear that also because I remember hearing this from Reggie. Reggie got there the first day. He had none of his equipment, so he was wearing other guys' helmets.
He was.
No.
And he said he felt like, and he said the next day when his box arrived, he said,
was
"Boy,
like born
and
again?"
They say Reggie when he got his gear
the
on,
2001
they said
Senior
it
Bowl.
went up. It went up tremendously. Like
Because he had his backpack on the whole time. Oh, listen, it's some stories down there.
Dude, that sounds crazy. So it would be interesting to get you down there to see how it compares to when you were there because it's such a long time ago. But
Yeah, I'm sure it's different.
Caroline, we got that information.
my brother won the MVP of the
2001.
2001.
his Senior Bowl game. My brother won MVP. Their team lost, but he won MVP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we won.
Yeah,
And won both.
And that's how my brother's stock went up too. He got picked in the second round because of the Senior Bowl.
Gosh, man, Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl's a great event, man. I love the Senior Bowl. It's
Crazy. There's only articles about Tomlinson winning MVP.
Yeah, he was Ladanian.
oh, Thompson won the
But
MVP.
if I need to bring the
Let's send us a picture. Let's
no,
go
we
home
took
and
the
take a
picture at the what's name at the end of the game.
I think you should just
Y'all,
send it.
y'all
Fred-
said the same thing when I told you I win a whole season without giving up a touchdown.
okay,
I'm the
That was
first.
factual though.
Fred,
That's facts.
You guys, you got a quote from him.
Okay, what is it? Okay, Caroline, what we got?
You know I was going to go out and play the way I play. So he said, MVP or not, you know I was going to think I was the MVP.
I was gonna be the MVP. I was gonna lead.
I don't know.
21-year-old smooth
I don't know if you guys could hear Caroline on that, but basically the
I
quote
was
ended.
20 then.
The quote ended with Fred was like, I don't know if I was going to win MVP, but I was going to act like I
I
won
won
MVP.
it anyway.
If that ain't smooth, who that is?
Hey, listen. See, y'all don't believe me when I say I won it. Hey, I done won MVP at every level. I won
believe you,
MVP
dog.
for the Redskins before. I mean, for the Washington team.
Yeah.
I won it in the Senior Bowl. I won it for the Mississippi State Bulldog. Every team I played.
Why are you all sweaty right now? I feel
Because
like
because when y'all doubt me,
They put the pressure on him.
I start
Put him in the
glistening.
cooker. We put him in
When
the
y'all-
cooker.
hey, when y'all doubt me, my pores open.
it's so
up,
funny
start
though, man, because
glistening.
you get after people so much, and the second we get a little like we're fact checking you or something, it's like, oh,
He that only child. He the only child.
Hey,
Oh, we done
because
backed
I'm
him
the
in the
only
corner.
one y'all fact check like this. I can be like, you know what,
Fred,
man?
you're the only one who lies all the time.
But I never lie. If I told y'all, you know what, I caught one touchdown in my ninth grade year. Y'all know, whatever. One touchdown. You never did that. What you talking about?
See, that's the thing, though, man. You like make stuff up sometimes. But it's part of your charm. So when you do sell something that's real, it's like, is that true or not? I don't know. We got to look it up now because I can't go around telling all my friends, oh, you know, Fred won MVP of the Senior Bowl. No, Fred thought he won MVP of the Senior Bowl. It's a different thing.
No, I won it.
Yeah, Fred will tell you, I won it, but they ain't give me the award. They gave it to Ladanian Thomas.
No, I won it. He got the
No,
offense.
I got you.
Yeah,
No,
we
I
got it. Just saying.
Got
We're just all right. Okay. So, yeah, we'll do that Senior Bowl recap next week. And, keep tuning into the podcast.
Please do.
Keep updating the stuff.
Bowling coming soon, too.
Bowling coming
yes,
soon.
sir.
Yeah. Fred says he's an
Big
amazing
Ern
bowler.
McCracken.
Thanks so much for joining, guys. Appreciate it.
We are brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every sport should be epic. That's why we offer an in-game experience which covers over 78 sports and 780 live streams to 90 million customers worldwide. Our online betting brand is powered by a world-class proprietary product and over 7,000 employees across the globe. Whatever sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, the official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Virginia. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.